Spotlight live and out in the woods for a new vlog. This time talking all about Ruben Amorim. We're going to get straight into this. Please like, favourite and subscribe if you have joined the stream or are reading it or listening to it after the comments. And we just want to get into Amorim. A couple of things like, where are you at with Amorim? He's won 5 games out of 16 in the Premier League. We're out of both domestic cups. Real Sociedad could easily knock us out of the Europa League, and any hopes of United fans pinned on us having a good summer, getting the players in that we need to move forward is gone. We're reliant on the hope of winning the FA Cup or winning the Europa League to be able to make the transfers that we need to make. There's a lot of chat about Amorim. I think there's more and more fans after every game, their opinions changing, that he needs to do something. He needs to change the way we play. He needs to change the formation. But you tell me what you think. I'll tell you what I think right now. The results, whoever he is, whoever the manager is, whether it was Ten Hag before him, Ollie before him, Amorim now, the results are unacceptable. And whether you pin that on the players, the formation, the system, the manager, the coaches, the club, it doesn't matter. They're all in it together, and it's unacceptable to have won 5 Premier League games out of 16. Be 15th in the league and out of both domestic cups. Whether they're his players or not, we all expected some sort of bounce, and it hasn't happened. And my take on Amorim is we should stick with him. We should not be sacking him. We should allow him the summer, allow him to be paid, have a summer, and we probably shouldn't even sack him the summer after that. But will he get given the chance if we're spending 100, 200 million pound on him? We get rid of 3 or 4 players, we bring 3 or 4 of his players in, and we're still 8th, 10th, 12th in the league next year. Are you, as Man United fans, willing to give him enough time to really change? Or if we're still in this situation this time next year or coming up to Christmas next year, do you think the scrutiny will change? Because now he's sort of getting a free ride, whether you like it or not. He's been allowed to so-called implement his system. He's getting away with they're not his players for this system. If he gets 3 or 4 players in the summer, say that's maybe 5 or 6 players he's got of his own, there has to be some players around this club and the youth system that can play this system. Not every single one of that entire squad can't play this system. The professional footballers, at the end of the day, we have to see some results come the start of next season, or the scrutiny is going to turn to Amorim from the fans, where now he's getting away with it a bit, in my opinion, because we're so dead set on changing the players this time and not the manager. And obviously the owners and the structure are taking a lot of the heat off the manager with all the shite that they're doing as well. And that is my personal opinion on Amorim. If we're going to go down this system route, he's stubborn with it, we have to, without a doubt, stick to it. You cannot be chopping and changing the system. The his players debate, it's not whether they're his players or not. The fact are the players aren't good enough, and they haven't been under Ollie, and they weren't under Ten Hag. And Ollie and Ten Hag were not good managers either, but Amorim's apparently a good manager and still can't get anything out of him. What does it say? Rashford's gone out the door, everyone hated him, and I was not Rashford's biggest fan, and I agree he should be gone and he can stay at Villa for all I care. I'm not bothered. Anthony's gone to Betis, he's doing all right. Yes, it's a completely different league, and I am one of the people who's in the trench of that the Spanish league's crap, so he's probably doing all right over there, just like he did in the Dutch league, where that's a load of crap as well. I mean, I don't really know what to say on this. Like, I'm here for more people's opinion. The one thing I would say that is the positive from all this and us getting Ruben Amorim in the middle of the season instead of the end of the year. Imagine if we'd have gone into the summer and Amorim was doing this at the start of next year, realising half these players aren't good enough. At least he's come in midway through this season when we're already 8th, 10th, 12th, whatever we were, and he's going to have 6 or 8 months to know that these players aren't good enough and do what he needs to do in the summer. If we'd have got him in the summer, we'd have kept half of these players on and he'd have been finding this out for the whole of next season. So that is the one positive I take from this, that at least Amorim's had this period of time from when he come in till the end of this season to know what players are good and what are not, and we're not going into next season starting these same players and in finding out from September next year that they're not good enough. We've got an entire season of it. That is the only good thing I can take from it. Will Ineos back him in the summer? He's going to be my final point on Amorim. I think they've got no choice. They have to back him in the summer. There's really no other option but to back Ruben Amorim in the summer. They've brought him in, new system, not spent on him in January. They're doing all this cost cutting, players out, wage bill cut, club cut, staff cut, everything cut. They have to spend money on Amorim in the summer. The problem we have got is we're not going to be in Europe at all. We're not going to be in the Europa League or the Champions League. We won't even get to the Conference League. That's how bad it is. So even if we do have 100 or 200 million pounds to spend, who are we spending it on that's going to come to Man United when we're nowhere near the heights of Europe? I think that's why the Gyökeres thing's gone dead. Because why would Gyökeres come to Man United where we are? Osimhen, maybe a different kettle of fish. He's trying to recoup his career a bit from it going downhill after Napoli. And he probably wants to go to a bigger league than Turkey or wherever he is. So maybe we can get Osimhen. But I think that's why it's so sketchy with Osimhen, that one day we're in for him, one day we're not. Because there's no concrete evidence we can get Osimhen. Not where we are in the league and where we are in Europe. I think to any chance of getting someone like Osimhen, we have got to get in the Europa League or the Champions League. Well, we can't get in the Europa League. So we've got to get in the Champions League by winning the Europa League. And right at this moment in time, do you actually think we can beat Real Sociedad? Because I don't. I mean, we were scraping through past crap teams in the Europa League in the group stage. Sociedad are not a good side, but they've got some technical ability. They'll keep the ball from us. And we will be running around like headless chickens trying to get it back. The only hope that we've got is if they got the cutting edge to get a goal or two against us. Because if they do, we are absolutely, totally and utterly screwed. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Like, and the final little question, again, leave a comment or whatever if you're watching this video after, or if anybody's watching, and tell me, if Amorim's backed in the summer and we are still 10th or below in the league, do you think he makes the end of next season? Or do you think they will sack him? Or do you think the fan base will turn on him? Will the fan base turn on Ruben Amorim if we are 10th, 12th, 15th in the league next year after he's had money spent? Because I do believe we will spend money. I mean, we have to get back into the Champions League or Europa League. We'll have been out the Champions League for 2 years in a row. Is it the first time that's happened in the Glazer time? And that's probably why they spent big at the end of last year with Ten Hag to try and get back into the Champions League. and it has backfired massively. I mean, what do I think about the system? I suppose we can talk about the system. I know I talked about it a little bit a minute ago, but the system, I don't mind the 3-5-2. Chelsea are the only team that's ever won the Premier League with a 3-5-2. Can it work? Yes. Chelsea had Kante, Makaleli, Essien as their defensive midfielders. We've got Agate, who's all right, but for me, he's just a slightly better version of Fred. He's nothing special. He's not good enough on the ball. Yes, he might be aggressive, tenacious, and he can win the ball back. And then whoever he's playing next to is either not mobile or Bruno Fernandes, who couldn't hold a position in a prison cell if he was locked in it, because he's all over the place, and people make excuses that he's doing everyone else's work and this, that and the other. I'm not having it. You're told to play in the central midfield of the Man United team, where we're playing 2 midfielders versus 3 in the Premier League all the time. Remember, it's come out of Ruben Amorim's mouth himself that the Premier League's a physical league, and that's why Anthony's doing well in Betis. And we want to play 2 in midfield versus 3. And one of them's either Bruno or Mainu or Eriksen or Casemiro, who can't run or can't hold position or can't pass 5 yards without going to an opposition player. And next to him you've got Ugarte, who just runs around winning the ball back, but once he's got the ball he can't do anything with it. And I think we've got a real problem at the minute as United fans, that we're bigging up players. We've had the fan favourites before. Rashford's gone. You know, Bruno's still a fan favourite, but there's a divide with Bruno now, that people are seeing Bruno for what he is a lot more. And while you can't argue, he has pulled us out of the crap hole enough times this season, that he's not what we need to get back to the top. He's too inconsistent. He gives the ball away too much. Whatever you think about him, he's not the future, is he? Even if you love him and you think he's the best player ever, he's 30 years old. We need to move on. Obviously, Dalot has lost the plot. Who knows what's happened to Dalot? He's just clearly not a wing back, is he? Højlund is garbage. Like, literally, I mean, I've said it loads of times on these videos, Højlund isn't very good. He's overrated. We've been ripped off. And finally, again, people are coming round to it, that he's not actually as good as people say he is. People are saying that Xerxes coming on, he's getting better. If getting better means that you pass the ball to him and he can actually take a touch and then turn and pass it 5 yards means getting better, then that is the standards we are at as a club. Because I'm afraid to tell you right now that if any of you lot think Joshua Xerxes is the future of Man United, the future 10 or striker of this club, we're never ever getting back to the top. Don't matter whether you like him, this is nothing to do with personals. I think Xerxes does like the club, he does work hard, he's come back from adversity and he's putting a shift in. But I've said it before, we've got rid of so many players because we say they're not good enough, but they put a shift in. McTominay, Fred, loads of them. The problem is now, we're almost coming to the expectation where even doing the basics of turning and passing 5 yards, people are saying that they're a really good player. They're not. Xerxes is one of the worst Man United players I've seen come through the Man United ranks in a long, long time. He's not mobile. Yeah, he can get hold of the ball, great. Rasmus Højlund is, I don't even know how to explain it. And the chance creation thing's a joke. If you put 50 crosses into the box in a game, he won't get on the end of any of them. He's never in the right position. He's never available to receive the ball. He's stood wrestling with defenders. The only thing he's got is he's physically quite quick. And that is it. He's like, to me, he's like Darwin Núñez. He's like, could be a nuisance in behind, but is he really good enough to finish anything? I don't know. And that is where we are with this Man United side. And that's a quick 15-minute stream done there. So if you've hung around, chatted, whatever, if you're watching the video after it's gone live, please like, favourite and subscribe. And please tell me what you think of Ruben Amorim, and if he will be at this club by the end of next year after he's been backed, if we're still in the position we're in now. Will the fan base and the owners be able to stick it out? And on that note, please like, favourite and subscribe, and I am out of here.